Hello everyone, welcome to another podcast in our series of Richmond Solution Podcasts. My name is Nicolas Lantas, Richmond Product Manager for Latin America, and today we have planned a special and different podcast for you. We have invited a special guest to talk to us about learning platforms, a concept that has become quite of a buzzword over the past years, really.
Richmond Solution Podcast.
Live from our office in Oxford, let me introduce you to Luke Baxter. Luke is our digital publisher at Richmond and has vast experience in the field of educational digital technology. Luke, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, Nico, I can hear you loud and clear, and it's also lovely to see your smiley face.
Thank you, Luke. Welcome to our Richmond podcast series. How have you been, Luke?
Well, yeah. Thank you very much for the invitation. I've been, really busy,
Yeah, I can imagine. Lots of things going on at the same time, right? It's all moving fast these days, isn't it?
Yeah. Don't even talk about it. There's not one day that's similar to the other. But fortunately, we are working intensively on developing many things for our students and our teachers here at Richmond. What about you?
I hear you. Similar things at this end, as you know. The Southern Hemisphere has just gone back into the classroom with a new school year. Lots of things going on, helping all our managers with the school kickoff, plus all the work with our editors for all the materials that we'll be launching this year. Many new things coming up, so everybody should be paying attention because we'll be releasing new products this August. And I think you're also involved in some of those from a digital perspective, aren't you?
Yeah, I am indeed. Well, I've been working pretty much non-stop on some quite cool new digital products. We've been creating adaptive learning modules for our Richmond Solutions secondary courses. These should be really great things for helping students learn the key grammar from these courses. We've also been working on some vocabulary and pronunciation modules for Fly Higher Primary that use voice recognition. I think these are really cute, and they should give kids lots of opportunities to improve their pronunciation and reinforce their learning of vocabulary.
Yeah, no, everything that is coming is really amazing. I'm glad you just mentioned what's going to be available on the RLP, because as you know, today's podcast concerns learning platforms. For many, this is a crystal clear concept. Others are still a bit lost when having to define what a learning platform is. Can you give us a brief definition of what a learning platform, such as the Richmond Learning Platform, really is, please?
Yes. Well, learning platform is a bit of a catch-all term, really, that can be used to describe things like virtual learning environments, or VLEs, or learning management systems, LMSs. The exact difference between these two things is a bit of a moot point, but maybe the clue is in the name. So a VLE is 100% virtual, and an LMS might include some offline information, such as the school timetable. But in essence, a learning platform is an online environment where teachers and students can find and share content and communicate with each other.
Yeah, I'm very glad you drew the difference between a VLE and an LMS. For many years, we were used to listening about VLEs, and probably LMS is a new concept. But what kind of things might you find in a learning platform, Luke?
Well, I suppose the key thing that you'd expect to find in a learning platform provided by a publisher like Richmond is high quality content. And then apart from the content itself, you'd want to have some standard features, such as a markbook where teachers, parents and students can find the scores for all the activities carried out, preferably presented in a nice visual way that is easy to understand. And then good learning platforms should also include functionalities that allow for communication between the teacher and the class, so some sort of messaging system. You might also get other forms of communication, like a blogging tool or a forum. And then since the pandemic, we have seen lots of platforms integrate online video communication tools like Zoom.
Yeah, I think we have all heard about that one, haven't we? Now, how difficult would you say it is to use all these tools? I mean, you just listed many, and I'm sure there are many more tools that can be part of a learning platform. How difficult would you say it is to use all these tools the learning platforms offer? And is it true that the more tools a platform has, the slower and less effective it will be?
Yeah. I can't really speak for other platforms, but we have been adding things to the RLP over the years, and I don't think we've really noticed anything like that. And then as to how easy the tools are to use, I mean, we do test these things and we make sure that everything's nice and user-friendly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can speak from my own experience. You know, I'm in contact with all of our managers and many of our school users, and fortunately, they have all enjoyed the experience of using the RLP with all these tools. And what they love the most is the possibility of having everything in just one place. You know, it's like they have their practice, they have the possibility of organizing and setting up the classrooms and the classes for online conferences. And nobody has reported that the platform runs slowly or anything similar to that. But one of the questions I get asked quite frequently is what makes a learning platform to be effective and relevant? What would you say makes that?
Right. A learning platform is effective and relevant when it is really integrated into the educational experience. So if teachers can see how it is going to make their lives easier by taking some of the burden off them in terms of setting and assessing work. But also, crucially, for a learning platform to be effective and relevant, it needs to be somewhere teachers and students want to visit and they want to spend time on. So it needs to be user-friendly, with an attractive design that invites the user in, ideally with an interface that matches their expectations and their abilities. So you might want something more serious looking for young adults and teenagers, and then something more fluffy and simple to use for younger learners.
Yeah, just like, for example, in our RLP, I mean, we have our RLP for preschool, for primary, for young adults, and it's all really different, and it's welcomed by both teachers and students. The other thorny issue when it comes to platforms is how can a learning platform assess and demonstrate the learning of a student? Is it possible that a platform can demonstrate that?
Yeah, I mean, okay, but I think even geeks like me need to be cautious about making overblown claims about what technology can do. So, in my opinion, a learning platform can assess some types of learning and activities. What I think is the real strength is in the assessment and scoring of simple right-wrong type of activities. When I was teaching, back in the days when the Earth was still young and humanity had just emerged from the caves, I would have loved to have had a machine that could quickly correct the pile of workbook activities that needed my attention on a Sunday night. They would sit there looking at me accusingly. And these were mostly that type of true-false type activities that really didn't need much expertise to correct. Now, this type of correction these days can be done automatically and quickly by the platform, and the scores can be presented in the markbook.
Yeah, I hear
where the teachers... It's good. But where the teacher's expertise is key, and in my opinion always will be, is in assessing the productive skills. So computers still cannot evaluate a piece of writing or a student speaking. So a good learning platform will allow the scores from the automatically marked content and the manually marked content to be combined in the mark. I think this is something that we need to be careful of, namely that just because this kind of automatically marked content is easy to create and it's labor saving for teachers, we don't want it to completely dominate the content we produce.
Yeah, I fully agree. And I think that's, I'm glad you remarked that, because I think any act of teaching is a human act. And it's not that because we have learning platforms now, we are sort of dehumanizing the teaching profession, or that teachers won't be necessary anymore. On the contrary, platforms are here to help both the students and the teachers as well. Don't you agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that's vital. And I can't believe that we're really going to get to some sort of AI that can really effectively assess a piece of writing and give feedback on it that's going to work for students.
Absolutely. And in that line, how do learning platforms improve the educational experience in your opinion, Luke? I mean, you mentioned many things, but how do they improve the educational experience overall?
Well, as I mentioned before, a learning platform can improve the educational experience when it becomes a key element in that experience. So, sort of flipped learning and blended learning were the buzzwords of a few years ago, but now they are the reality for many educational establishments, especially after the pandemic we've just been through, or we are still going through. So we now want our students to carry out significant chunks of their learning outside class, so that the often limited class time that we have available can be used as efficiently as possible. So by being able to access rich, high-quality learning and assessment materials outside class on the platform, and for the platform, with or without the intervention of a teacher, to be able to correct and give feedback on students' work, the educational experience will be significantly improved.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. And actually, it's some of the feedback we get from our users on a daily basis, I would say, no matter where they are. The experience is that using these platforms has helped both the teacher and the students significantly and has improved the performance. Look, as always, talking to you is a great pleasure. You really enlighten us all. You certainly enlighten me, as always. Try not to work that hard, but keep doing what you're doing, because we all welcome it at Richmond. Thank you very much for your time. Anything else you want to say?
No, not really. I mean, well, thank you very much for your time. And it's great to be able to chat with you. And I hope things aren't getting too cold for you in Uruguay. We're just coming to our beautiful English summer, spring. It's great having a chat.
It's getting a bit chilly down here, but no, for the time being, we're all right. Look, thank you so very much. And thank you all out there for listening to us. As always, stay tuned for our next episode in the Richmond Solution podcast series. See you all.